work in a yarn shop, so I see a lot of fashion. I think that I know a lot of fashion trends. I also watch a lot of Drag Race, which is a terrible credential, but I watch a lot of runways, so it's fun. I like to watch them.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop that. Very, very cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us today. So we're going to go through the models' photos. So to get us started, the shoot's theme was Angels and Demons. So very inspired by the shoot from Cycle 15. In particular, this photo with Ann Ward. So the twist was, however, we did ask our models to incorporate both an angelic and demonic element. So they either had to do them in pairs or they had to do them with a little bit of both in the mix. So without further ado, let us get started with our first model and our fan favorite for this week. So first call out goes to Diego for this shot. So let me get this set up so you guys can see just fine. All right, let's do that. Cool. So our first model's photo, Diego, for Angels and Demons. All right. What do you think?
Am I supposed to be able to see it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me share my screen. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do the screen share. Cool. So we will do present now. Entire screen. Share. Cool. Can you see it?
Went away.
Yeah, I got it back. Here we go. What do you think? So this is Diego's Angels and Demons interpretation and the fan favorite with a record actual 50 upvotes on this one. So it's the most that I think a photo has actually gotten so far. So let's hear what your comments are and round it out with a rating for what you think of this photo.
I'm not really sure. I don't know. I would have to see the other.
Yeah. Why don't you
rating, but
just give some feedback.
Cool. It looks cool. It looks like someone actually like went out of their way to create something, and so I appreciate the effort, the obvious effort put into it.
And you can see like what I really like is the composition and the way that you can see his, in his expression. He's got a very like artistic interpretation as a photo overall, and I love the photo editing skills involved with managing to get both of him in the frame. But I love how in the facial expressions of the angelic figure, as I would imagine, he's very like, you can just really tell, he's kind of got that exalted look. And then the demonic figure is a really cool juxtaposition, especially being kind of the same person, that you can see that total other end of the spectrum. So I'm going to give this photo, I think this is going to be a 9 from me.
I agree.
Okay,
cool. I would
agree
with you.
Agree with the 9? Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a really good interpretation. So, yeah, and congrats on getting the fan favorites for the most upvotes. So we also do have another judge on the panel today. We have someone known as Mufi from the Philippines, hope I'm saying that properly, who went ahead and let me know what she thought of each photo. So unfortunately they couldn't be with us live because of the time difference, but they were able to give us some comments in the Excel document or the cast files of each of the photos. So we'll go through what they had to say. And they said, okay, cool. So they got, for Diego, they said they're going to give him a 7. Sounds like their thing is the styling. They wanted a little bit more styling, but they appreciated the effort a lot, and a lot of it was partly because they were so blown away last week that they just think that, Diego, you can do even better. So that, I'll add that to your score total. All right, now let's move on to the next contestant in line here. We got Kylie, and as our runner-up for the fan favorite of this week. Let's take a look at what her photo presentation was. Alrighty. So what do you think of that one? I personally really like the creativity involved with having, you know, the door frame, and the angle of her face is just amazing for, you know, and kind of getting across that expression. I'm not sure how she did this in editing, but I really love the red hand and the way that it kind of plays against the trope of, you know, you can almost feel like there's something evil coming through the door, and she's trying to like keep it back. I think that's super cool.
I like it. I like the fact that you can't actually see anything beyond the door, despite like other than just the red. It kind of gives you, in a both a good and a bad way, it gives you free rein with your own imagination to come up with what might be behind that door. I like how interpretive of it is. You know, you mentioned you're going to think of hell. You see red, you see fire, you see brimstone kind of thing. You're going to think of hellfire. I do think that she incorporated that into, you know, like the red hand, and so I do like it.
Cool. Yeah, I would agree. So let's look at the cast files comments. We got from Mufi, we have another 7. They love the concept, but wanted to see a little bit more exaggeration, like the devil's hand, and make it more devilish with longer nails, and maybe to juxtapose against the angel and the emotion they're showing. I'm gonna give this one. I don't know. This is an 8 to me. I feel like the creativity involved with the composition of the photo, and her face is just, the expression is really, really solid. Like, she did do and so did Diego actually. So I'll go back to that. But her interpretation of what she was going for was representing an angel / good girl trying to keep her demons at bay behind closed doors. So I thought that I really got that from the photo, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, I would agree with you on the rating as well.
Cool. So an 8 from you as well. Cool. Yeah, and then Diego's photo, just to reiterate, since we didn't have that interpreted for his, but he was going for, he's a Gemini, so he wanted to incorporate his split personality with the angels and the demon theme, which I definitely think he managed to do really well. So yeah, so you got both on there. Alrighty, let's get going with our third call out. That'll be Kat. So Kat was actually our winner from last week for best photo for the scarves round, but let's see what she came up with for angels and demons. So she said in her post that she was going for more of like a fallen angel type of look. So let's see what you think on that. I'll read a little bit about her interpretation as you look at it. So she's wearing handcrafted couture wings made from the finest aluminum foil and cardboard that money can buy. So I think that personally, that's just really amazing. I would never have guessed, actually, looking at those, that those were handmade, and let alone from such resourceful materials. So I think that's really cool, and I just love the the angle she chose. Like, I think it really highlights her bone structure, and I think it does an amazing job of kind of, like, I get the feeling this is like an angel looking up from hell, and I love it. I don't even know how she did the lighting on this one too. It's like I can't recognize the background, but what do you think?
I like it. I do. I like the fact that she's created such a nice focal point using what I'm assuming is either light or makeup on her, and I appreciate the craftsmanship. I would not have guessed the wings were made out of aluminum foil if you hadn't told me otherwise. I do. It's very, like, it reminds me of a Renaissance painting.
Yeah, I definitely see that with
Birth of Venus.
Birth of Venus. I could see that. Yeah, definitely. I could see the, almost kind of like old school or oldest school, Renaissance inspired, and that, like, I could see this definitely being something someone did 100,000 years ago with paint. So,
Mhm.
cool. Well, that's gonna be. I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna give this one an 8.5. I think you know I'm just really impressed with just like the level of attention to detail too, like the necklace, the lipstick, you know, the way she did her makeup, and I think it
It's a
really
lot,
highlights
yeah.
her collarbone and her cheekbones in this one. So we'll do an 8.5 from you. How about you, buddy?
I would agree with you on that one, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you want an 8.5 or a 9 or a 8?
8.5.
Okay, cool. Cool. Let's see what our cast file had to say. So she said it would have been. She went with an 8 on this one. She said it probably would have been a 9, but she wishes it was in HD. So a little bit of criticism, I suppose, for the just aspect of camera, but at the same time, everybody is wearing all the hats. So I think that well, maybe a little bit more lighting could help with the camera getting a better shot. I think that the lighting worked for me in terms of what I feel like she was going for. And she also wanted to shout out Makeup on Point for this one. So
Yeah.
cool. All right, let's go on to the next. Next up, we got. Let's see. And we got Joan. All right. Let's present. Ooh, I love this one. There we go. So this is her Devil Angel individual shot. So it's worth noting that Joan and Zach Swift actually did a collaboration for this challenge. So I'll do each of them individually, and then I want to you to keep in mind that they actually are designed to be a side by side. So we'll keep that in mind. She said she's going for the smoke representing temptation. So actually, what I can do is I'll just pull up Zach's as well right now, so you can see the intended effect with the two photos. So we'll have you probably rank them individually, but keep in mind this is a pair set. So cool. Oh, okay. So one thing I really like off the bat with these two is just the way that they managed to kind of have the same like aesthetic in them. I think that like she has sort of a similar vibe going with, like I almost see, like I could see these being from the same shoot, same era, same kind of feel for everything.
Same challenge.
Yeah. So I really like that. What do you think?
I like it. I like they contrast each other well. I agree with you. It'd be two people that I would not be surprised seeing as the two main protagonists in a movie kind of thing. They would play with each other well in a film kind of thing. I like their visuals accompany one another. Good.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think it's really good. It's like definitely managed to keep the aesthetic consistent and definitely managed to portray that juxtaposition of something heavenly and something less so. I think that I really like how Zach also has like some sort of a red mark on his chest. I think that's a really interesting interpretation. Like he's been kind of already like tainted in some way. I think my one criticism would be I kind of want to see a little bit more expression in the face from Zach's end of things. Maybe Angelic is hard because you're kind of doing almost a slightly vacant thing anyway. But I think that if we could get a little bit more like emotion through that, that would really make it a perfect photo for me kind of thing. And Joan, on the other hand, I absolutely love I love how, I don't know how she got the smoke in there, but I love it. And the way that she's staring at the camera and just like smolder, it's like almost like a challenge, I feel like she's staring it down. So what do you think?
I do like it. I do agree that Zach looks almost lost. And if that was what he was going for, I would agree. But if it was not, then I would appreciate maybe a little bit less of a robotic look to his face. I appreciate. I would say my one criticism may be the horns do look a little bit crafty almost.
Okay.
Maybe I would appreciate like a little bit more work on intentionally hiding it, making sure that they aren't like just on a headband in your hair kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Like I like the commitment to the costume, but I think that especially since the rest of her photo looks very like high fashion type of smoldering, it might be something that like is slightly taking away from the otherwise the severity of the photo. So I would agree. From our Google Docs, we got so Joan Mufi wanted to congratulate you on. She thought this was a major improvement from the photo last week, and she's very intrigued with the pose and the smoke and the story that the photo is implying. And she just said, you just look great. So props for that. That one was an 8 from that one. And then for Zach Swift's, they got said you had a cute face in the composition in the picture, but we're not as impressed with. They kind of wanted to see like a little bit more of like a story from you, kind of get a little bit more of that intrigue. So that one looks like the rating is a 7. So I think I'm gonna give Joan a 9 for this one. I think that it's just very intriguing, and like we kind of said, the story is there for me, and I thought that I feel like I could look at it for a very long time. Zach Swift, I think that's going to be, I'm going to go with a 7.5 for yours on this one. I think that, again, like, the parts of it I really like, and the detail work and the pose, but I just wanted to see a little bit more from the face, or maybe, like, more of your face. We could maybe, like, look more at the camera to give that intensity. But, yeah, what do you think for these two ones?
I would probably say an 8 for Joan, and then a 7 for Zach.
Okay. Cool. All right, back to our models. Let's go with, so that was the Zach Swift and Joan collaboration and an individual scoring. Next up, we got Zach with a K, so Z-A-K, and see his interpretation.
Sorry, I'm going to cough.
Quite all right. All right, let's get this over on the screen. Ooh, this one is totally different approach than the other photos, like, in my opinion anyway. Let's take a look. So this one has a very, like, almost like kind of Batman Joker-y vibe to me, but
it's a little cartoonish.
But I like it. I think that, I love the detail and the fact that his like nails seem to have like a red paint on them. I'm not sure how he got to the composition of the outfit. I've been trying to figure it out for a minute now, like, because that looks really, good. And I can't tell if he edited it or he's wearing 2 separate clothing items. But I love it, and I love the intensity that he's staring down the camera with. That look really works, I think, with his bone structure and the aesthetic that he's got overall. For his interpretation, he said he was trying to kind of go for an ironic thing, like a whimsical demon that is actually good and a scholarly businessman / politician that is secretly evil. He was going for a message about what is sometimes presented being not what it seems. So what do you think of this one?
I like it. I do. I like the fact that it's not just, he hasn't just decided to go for the classical, straight up, like half his face. He's gone for more than half of his face. Like it was almost larger on him, like the bad side was necessarily the one that was winning necessarily in that situation. I like the detail. He obviously spent time taking this photo. I'm sure it was one of many, many, many pictures that he chose. but I appreciate his dedication. He obviously spent time working on this, and it's obvious from the details in the photo.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's a very good summary. So what would you rank? What would you rank this one out of 10? What's your score?
I would give this one probably a 9.
Alrighty, let me write that down and then, yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8 for this one. I think that actually I think I'm an 8.5 because I think that what I would have the most criticism for is the fact that I think that I would have liked to see like a little bit more of an evil interpretation, so like maybe redder instead of a little bit orangey, and more something that kind of like was like leaning towards scary. But I think that the concept is really good and the execution is great. I just want to see something a little bit more severe to juxtapose that like that's more serious businessman type thing. But he said he was going for the whimsical demon, so I guess I like the whimsical thing, but I think that I would be kind of curious to see what it would look like if he went for a little bit more of a serious route. But I still think it was a very successful execution of the concept. Let's see what the Reddit files had to say. So from Mufi, we got a 7. They love the dedication, but wish the background could have matched the outfits, or maybe committed more to the clownery and devilness of it all. So I think that's kind of similar to what I was saying, in the sense of I would have liked to see it go a little bit more like ironic and whimsical, or more like intense and dark. So I think that that's one of those directions would have escalated it even further for me. So cool. Alrighty, so we got a couple more. Next up, we got Kari. Let's see what she got. Alrighty, so for this one, she said she did a dark angel type. Figured a character would be the most fun person at the party, so she wanted to show the playful side. It was a lot of fun. I totally agree. I think that like one of the things I love about these competition rounds is just everyone's like super creative interpretation of stuff. Like, you know, more of a modern devilish angel. I really like that because you know, as much as I love myself a good serious dark photo, I think that, you know, trying to take it to something with a more contemporary slant and thinking about like what a devil would be like at a party, or a devilish angel or fallen angel is a very clever and creative concept that I think she executed well. And I think her face looks really great with you know, the lighting and the way that you can see her bone structure, just you know, with the shadows and stuff. So
no, definitely. I enjoy her take on the concept. I like that she decided to not try and go for a duality thing or anything. She went for a single being, a single entity, which is honest. I mean, I like the realism and the realistic take of it. I like the details in the wings, and the fact there's white on the tips of the wings suggests potentially at one point they might have been fully white, or vice versa. You know, they could have been fully black at one point, and so they could be going one way or the other. But I like the details. It's a really gorgeous picture.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can't tell. I've been trying to figure it out too. I can't tell if those wings I think they're photoshopped in, but I honestly can't tell, and I love that. And I honestly can't tell what she's taking this picture in front of too. So, you know, all of that, you know, the styling combined, I think it's really good. I think this one's gonna be an 8 from me as well. Like, I feel like I'm giving a lot of 8s out, but they're all just so good. But yeah, an 8.5 for me as well, because I think that what I would like to see a little bit more of is people, you know, trying things that are maybe not their usual style. But I also think that the risk she took in this one paid off. So, you know, it's a good solid round of photos. So
yeah, definitely.
So what do you think for your score?
I'd probably give it a 9.
All right, cool. 9 from you, and let's see what the Reddit said. All right, so she said she's going with a 7 on this one. She said it looks like a party picture, more so. So I think that she was not, you know, as much seeing the intention. But I think that, you know, taking into account that this is a more contemporary interpretation, that, you know, makes sense. And what's interesting about this too is because I'm having everybody like interpret them in their own way, It's something that, it's unlike, a normal America's Next Top Model shoot, they're not going to have that like constant or that consistency per se. So I think that, it's hard because everyone has their own style they like, but I think that when everyone is invited to interpret it in their own way, it definitely makes for interesting photos, but it's tough to have a constant baseline to judge against,
Definitely, yeah. To have a definite or operational definition of normal.
Absolutely. Cool. Cool. This one, we're good on this one. And then we'll do the final model, who we believe it's the final. I'll have to double check and count to make sure, but I think it would be Eva. Yeah, so here we go. So they're going for showcasing two very different looks as well and vibes, but the angel being jealous of how hot the devil is. So I thought that was very interesting. Let's see what their photo came out to look like. Cool. So this one I also really like the juxtaposition and the editing and composition. And I like how they're kind of on the same level. Like it's not like one is coming in a different direction. They're kind of like equals in a way, as well as the styling and expressions. I think that I like the expression on the angel. I'd like to see a little bit more from the devil, like more of like oh, I know I'm this hot, like kind of thing. But I think that's my only real like criticism on the like modeling aspect more so. As far as the this one, I would like to see a little bit more lighting. I think to kind of highlight the the models and the expressions and stuff. And I think like the makeup would be even more appreciated if I could kind of see it a little bit more. But I think that for the most part, I don't have a ton of other criticism for this photo. What do you think?
I like it. It's like the more that I look at it, the more that I keep finding details that I do like. I would agree with your criticism that it could use a little bit more lighting, but I feel like it could use a bit more lighting. Just lighting more takes away from the photo in the sense of it just takes away from the details that they've obviously created and aren't quite as visible as they could have been. I like the duality of it. I do like how they juxtapose one another. It reminds me of a lot of the Renaissance art where you've got multiple perspectives and there's always going to be the one that is directly looking into the camera, which is fascinating because that does create that focal point. And I do like it because despite the fact that they're obviously on the same plane, they have created a foreground and a background. You can obviously see that the devil is closer to you than the angel, but they're the same height. They're obviously not super far away. It's a photo that is artistically put together, and I really enjoy the structure of it.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely agree. And like, I think that the Mufi said from the sheets kind of a similar thing with like they give it a 8.5 on this one. Said there's something mystical going on. You could write a spooky story about this pic, and I'll believe it. Which I agree with that, and I think that that's a really good way to put it. Like with a lot of these photos, what I love is just seeing people, create a photo that looks like the cover of a story I want to read. Like I just want to know more what's going on there. Yeah. So I love it. Yeah. I think it'll probably. I'm going to go with an 8 from this one. Like I said, just the slight lighting, criticism, and I want to see some more expression from the angel. But otherwise, I really loved it, and I love more expression from the devil. I love the angel's expression of jealousy and the interpretation of having like a party jealousy, something everybody can relate to, but with this like very old ancient concept. So that's I thought that was cool.
I agree with you. I would also give it an 8.
Cool. Alrighty. So I think that would be everyone. Let me double check. Uh-oh. Looks like canceled out of the stream really quick. Hold on just a second. There we go. Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Lost you for a second there. But yeah, anyway, so I think that kind of concludes our round of judging for today. I'm going to double check. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Cool. So let me have a second to tally up the scores and see who is the photo of the week and who is going to be our eliminated for this round. Well, I do so, feel free to give some thoughts on just the overall competition and any of the photos that really stood out to you or you thought that, was worth a notable mention. And before I let you do that, I'm going to have a quick shout out to Meowfi, MEOWFI. They're a guest judge on this particular round and donating their time to make sure to give some feedback to these models and create incredible photos. Thank you so much for doing that, and make sure to Google their name and check them out. I think they are on YouTube and have a Spotify as well. So definitely check them out, and I'll hand it over to you for some final thoughts while I try to tally up the scores.
I like the idea of this. It was a really cool prompt. I do like the creative freedom that was given regarding, it's a very broad prompt given. You can interpret that a lot of ways. That could be interpreted very realistically, regarding something like a very real life problem you might have dealt with. It could be even used, as in regards to a metaphor in order to, represent something in your life that you've gotten through. But furthermore, it can also be taken to that fantasy, 9, where you get to experience, you get to create a world, that you want to live in, you get to create characters and a storyline within a world that you want to live in. And so I applaud you for giving them such an open-ended storyline. It's a very good prompt, and it's something that I would like to do myself, if given the chance. So.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, definitely feel free. And that brings me to another good point. We have we're making the models do all the work here. If you guys ever have, a prompt that really speaks to you like that, feel free to post your, send me your photos or post in the comments your interpretation as well. This is, definitely something that I appreciate the models putting all this amazing work into, but I'd love to see some fan recreations as well. And I also have a surprise prize, which it's to debut at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for the reveal of the winner, as well as my little prize review for our models. So I'm about halfway done. We're almost there. 8 plus 8 plus 7. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's take a look here. Man, this is super, super close. Okay, so photo of the week went to Diego, so you are safe this round from elimination. And then our runners-up were Kat and Joan, who tied at the second best scores and votes. And then at the bottom here, it looks like we have, so I'm making sure that I got the right name. So it looks like, unfortunately, our eliminated model for this round is going to be Zach S. For this cycle 1. I absolutely loved your first photo, and I really did like this one as well. So make sure you stick around and feel free to throw a fan photo on some of the future rounds. But this competition is super brutal in the way of, everybody's just creating such amazing work. But I really appreciate your participation, and I will also make sure to send the models. You guys, I have all of your photos and the commentary you've received from the style mentors as well as the guest judging in an Excel spreadsheet document. So feel free to, if you are interested in that commentary, I can just give you your whole file with all of your work for this contest at the end of either the contest or your time in the contest. So just make sure to do that. And everybody stay tuned for Makeover Week reveal, the after photos. I'm having everybody send their final ones in right now, and that will be the best way to see everyone's transformation. I also will mention this in a post, but I've been experimenting a little bit with the best way to have the schedule go, and right now I'm kind of falling down on the side of I'm gonna have the models assign the photos on Monday, give me the photos by Friday. I'll open up the rounds and the judging on the weekend, and you guys can see the official judging panel on Sunday. So without further ado, the prize is going to be, so we can't actually offer you an actual profile in one of these magazines like Nylon or Guess, but my friend, who's your graphic designer, saw some of the work you guys did and was super impressed. So she does a lot of work with InDesign and stuff. So at the end of each of these rounds, I'm going to have her take your photo and put it into an actual magazine-looking cover. There won't be anything in the magazine, but you'll get a real magazine cover with you on the front of it as your kind of photo of the week prize. So make sure that you hit me up for your files if those are interesting to you. And thank you to everybody who stuck around and watched our stream. I'm going to post the update on the official thread for now. And thank you, Adam, for being an incredible guest judge to this contest.
Bye, Miranda. I'm going to go.
Okay, bye. I'll see you later.
I love you.
Yeah, he's my brother, so I'm allowed to say that. But he also is probably the judgiest person I know, so you guys did really well. He's never said anything nice to me. But yeah, so thank you guys all for participating. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for our next round, where we will be debuting the makeovers and our round 3 of cycle 1 of Reddit's Next Top Model.